Sometimes the most magical moments happen when absolutely everything goes wrong at exactly the right time. This week in Custard Cove, what was supposed to be a quiet afternoon nearly turned into the great garden incident of Tuesday. It all started when Tilda Crumb discovered what she declared the perfect contemplation corner in the secret garden, a lovely serene spot with dappled sunlight that makes even the most pressing philosophical questions, like whether jam belongs inside or on top of everything, seem perfectly manageable. What Tilda didn't know was that the Garden Society had already reserved that spot for their weekly meeting. They'd been planning to discuss two critical matters: the proper height for raspberry crowns and whether 3 or 4 berries make for better cake diplomacy. These were serious topics requiring serious attention, and they'd arranged for the Crumbkins to cater the affair. The Crumbkins, however, had somehow misunderstood catering to mean setting up a market stall. They arrived with their striped awning, tiny cash box, and prices that would make a banker weep. The strawberry layer cake, priced as if it were made of actual gold, those perfectly piped petit fours, a small fortune each. The macarons found this absolutely hilarious and spent the morning making jokes about premium pastries. Poor little Peachy had arrived in what she proudly announced was her Tuesday best, a spectacular strawberry hat that perfectly coordinated with her coral layers, only to find herself completely upstaged by the market stall chaos. She spent the first hour sulking behind the daisies, muttering about commercial disruptions. Tilda stood in the middle of it all, journal in hand, processing how her quiet contemplation spot had suddenly become Custard Cove's contested real estate. The standoff might have lasted all afternoon if it weren't for Crumb, the quality control Crumbkin, who suddenly appeared with a clipboard and a very serious expression. "Emergency protocols," he whispered conspiratorially to the other Crumbkins. "The emotional spillover could compromise the entire afternoon's structural integrity." Within minutes, the original catering order materialized as if by magic. Tables appeared, proper china was arranged with precision, and the most perfectly brewed Earl Grey began working its diplomatic magic. The Crumbkins, realizing their mistake, sheepishly packed up their market stall. The Garden Society graciously invited Tilda to join their meeting, and little Peachy was properly admired for her Tuesday fashion sense, returning her usual sunny disposition. As the afternoon settled into its proper rhythm of tea and gentle conversation, the great berry debate resumed. The Garden Society was split down the middle, 3 berries or 4 for optimal cake diplomacy. Tilda, sipping her tea thoughtfully, offered the deciding wisdom: 4 berries, definitely. 4 is more, and more can open any door. Plus, she added with the kind of logic that only makes sense in Custard Cove, it leaves room for compromise when 3 feels too few and 5 feels excessive. The motion carried unanimously. As the sun began its lazy descent and the macarons settled onto their plates with contented sighs, having thoroughly enjoyed the afternoon's entertainment, the secret garden corner, no longer quite so secret, has become a regular gathering spot. The Garden Society has officially adopted it for their weekly meetings. Tilda uses it for her important contemplations, and the Crumbkins have promised to stick to actual catering for future events, though they're keeping their market stall license just in case.